One of my favorite games growing up on the NES was River City Ransom. It opened up the world of the beat 'em up genre to me, and I am forever thankful for that. It has become one of my absolute favorite genres to this day, something I play 30 plus years later. What's going on, everyone? I'm Jay, my channel is Square Pegs. Please click that subscribe button down below if you're new around here, just happen to stumble across the channel. Today we are looking at 10 of my favorite beat 'em up games on the Nintendo Switch, and we're starting here with the Capcom beat 'em up bundle. So the Capcom beat 'em up bundle is probably the ultimate bang for your buck value purchase on this entire list that you can make. It's 20 bucks and you get 7 games for it. So right off the bat, you get Final Fight, Captain Commando, King of Dragons, Knights of the Round, and Warriors of Fate. Those are all great games, but you also get 2 that were never released on console before today: Armored Warriors and Battle Circuit. All of these games play true to their arcade original counterpart. They look great, they play great, they sound great. They are an absolute metric ton of fun to play. And honestly, for me, it's worth it enough just for King of the Dragons and Knights of the Round because those games are fantastic. But you toss in the other games as well, and this is just a steal. It's so good, and it's just a great throwback to classic beat-em-ups that you're able to play in their original form on a modern console, on the go on the Switch. I think it's awesome. The fact that you're able to kind of have this love letter to classic beat-em-ups, to see where the genre kind of really started, and go forward with it, because Capcom kind of perfected beat-em-ups, and to be able to have that all in one just gorgeous package is magnificent. Up next, one of the most eagerly anticipated releases for the Switch over the last year. It's kind of a miracle that we ended up getting this in both physical and digital releases. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I think I can safely say that one of my most anticipated titles of 2021 was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game from Ubisoft. Now, I'm not a huge lover of limited run games. They're not my favorite company out there, but I knew when this released I was going to have to get it just because I needed everything that went into this collection. Now, ignoring all the extra feelies and everything like that that go along with it, you get one of the best modern beat-em-ups that I can recall over the last 20 years. You can play as Scott, Kim, Steven Stills, Ramona Flowers, Knives Chow, or Wallace Wells, meaning you can play any of the main characters from the Scott Pilgrim comics and movie, and you're able to go through all these imaginative, kind of River City Ransom-esque levels as you move forward to defeat the League of Seven Evil Exes. It's a wonderful game that is a love letter to a fantastic movie and fantastic comic book, and it is so true to the Brian Lee O'Malley art style that you feel like one of his comics have come to life. The music is fantastic from Anamanaguchi, the gameplay is solid, if a little bit difficult, I will admit, but honestly, it's so good you absolutely have to get it. All the DLC is included. There's a ton of different game modes as well. It's such a good release. Next up, based on the 1950s comic from France, Asterix the Gaul, we have Asterix and Obelix and Slap 'em All. So this one was a pleasant surprise, and I was just kind of in love with the fact that there continues to be some fantastic Asterix and Obelix games being released. There's 3 on the Switch that I had no idea about a few weeks ago. But this one here, Asterix and Obelix Slap Them All, is a fantastic beat-em-up that is just so imaginative and such a wonderful tribute to a historical and ongoing fantastic comic book out of France. You play as the titular Asterix and Obelix, and you are going through and defeating Romans, fighting brigands, trying to make your way through all these different levels with just fantastically gorgeous hand-drawn animations, wonderful combat mechanics, and a really wonderful voice cast. This is, I'm not going to say this is my favorite game on the list, but the charm that's inherent in this game that just kind of captures the magic and the soul of the comics is ever present in every stage you go through, in every punch you throw, in every ridiculous voice line that is uttered. It's a wonderful experience. As someone who has liked the Asterix and Obelix comics for a long time and appreciates their place in comic book history, this game is really special to me. And while it's not a well-known series here in the States, I think if you give this one a shot, you're going to find something here that you're going to enjoy as well. Next, one of my favorite eShop games from last year, something I've featured in videos in the past, Fight and Rage. Fight and Rage, straight up, was one of my favorite games of 2021, an absolutely pleasant surprise that I bought on a sale day on a whim. I didn't think anything of it. I did not know that this was going to be one of my favorite games of the year. I just saw it and thought it looked cool and said, hey, you know what? I want some more beat-em-ups in my life. I would love to play this one. And this game is magnificent. You start off with 3 different characters that you're able to fight with. They have different costumes that you're able to unlock. And as you go through, you're fighting mutated animals to make your way through the city to protect humanity. It's the most basic, generic idea of a game you could ever have as far as a beat-em-up goes, because it just falls lockstep in line with every other beat-em-up ever released. But the game does something really special with the fact that there is just a lot going on here. There's different endings, a huge combo system. You have different unlockables with costumes, game modes, playable enemies. You're able to unlock like different mutants that you can actually use to fight in the game. There's weapons, there's a parry system. It's a ridiculously deep game that has so much going on to it, and you can have up to 3 players playing co-op at any given time. This is one of my favorite games that I discovered on the Switch from last year. It's been out for a while. It's definitely worth checking out. Fight and Rage is fantastic. Next up, probably my favorite take on the Double Dragon series, Double Dragon Neon. Alright, so I'm going to say something probably a little sacrilegious here, but not a huge fan of the original Double Dragon games. I originally played them on the NES, and I just didn't have a lot of fun with them. So when Double Dragon Neon released, I initially played this on Steam, geez, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, and it was something that I looked at and I said, okay, there's something here. There's something going on here because the game doesn't take itself seriously. Like right off the bat, it is over the top, ridiculous, ostentatious, and perfect in every single way. It reinterprets the initial release of Double Dragon and puts an 80s vaporwave paint job over the top of it by making it just this ridiculous, fantastic, aggressive, and violent beat-em-up where you're going to go through and find all kinds of unlockables on every level. You're able to collect different mixtapes to unlock combos that you're able to use. There's a huge variety of weapons, and yeah, you even eventually end up in outer space fighting the bad guys. This game is amazing. I love Double Dragon Neon. It's something that I think people who are purists for Double Dragon will look at and kind of be annoyed by because, like I said, it doesn't take itself seriously. But dive into this game and you will have a ton of fun with it. Next up from the Gunman Clive team comes Super Punch Patrol. Right off the bat, there's a lot to love about Super Punch Patrol just based on the aesthetics alone. The game is stunning. Like, it is hand-drawn. It looks like pen and ink on paper that's just animated and brought to life, and it's just so good. Like, right off the bat, Bertel Horberg, who is the developer of this game, has developed a ton of fantastic stuff in the past, like Gunman Clive and Extermination Force, both excellent games that you should pick up and play. But Super Punch Patrol is his take on what a brawler is. Now, this game, super difficult. It is unbelievably hard to get through. It is very hard to be able to be successful at this game, but that isn't because it's poorly designed. It's because that's the way it's made to be. It's just a hard game. You have different characters that you're able to use. Each one plays a little bit differently. The game plays really well. It runs gorgeously. It's super duper smooth, and it's a lot of fun to play. It's a really great game, and I love this one. It's probably the cheapest game on this list. I think it retails at $5, and it's regularly on sale for less than that. So definitely check this one out. Super Punch Patrol is a gorgeous interpretation of the beat-em-up genre. Next up, a truly interesting concept, a 2D planar beat-em-up, Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Overdrive. I always appreciate a good spin-off, and Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Overdrive is a spin-off of the Phantom Breaker fighting game. This is a really cool game. It's a brawler in the sense that it is definitely a beat-em-up game, but it does things a little bit differently. Rather than being able to wander around a particular part of the stage, you're actually stuck to a locked screen that has 2 different planes on it. So you're able to bounce from the foreground and the background and fight the enemies on each level. One of the other really neat things about this as well is the different power-ups you're able to get and the vast array of characters that you're able to choose from. I really enjoy this one. I guess it's a cute-em-up. I mean, I know a cute-em-up is used for shoot-em-ups, but this one is a cute beat-em-up. You use really cute interpretations of the characters from Phantom Breaker, you have a bunch of different combos and attacks that you're able to use, and the game is just really well designed. I like when beat-em-ups take a chance and don't do the same thing over and over again, and Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Overdrive does that. The 2 planes that you're able to fight on makes it really interesting and unique in a really crowded genre, but I think that makes it stand out and makes it excellent. Next up, this one might be more of a hack and slash, but my rules, my video, so I'm going to say what I want. We have one of my absolute favorite games on the Switch, Battle Axe. So yeah, Battle Axe might be the most controversial opinion on this one because I guess at its core it is a wandering hack and slash, kind of like Gauntlet, but again, my video, my rules, so we're going with it. I'm going to say it's a beat-em-up. There's legit so much to love about Battle Axe, from its unbelievable visual presentation, to its fantastic music, to its wonderful gameplay. It's just, it touches everything and it makes it so good. It's a loving take on a classic design that just makes it its own thing and really puts its own unique spin on it. You have 3 characters that you're able to use, essentially a magician, a ranged attacker, and a brawler, and you're able to go through and fight the just various waves of enemies as they come through with huge boss battles at the end. It's really just a beautiful, wonderful game. It's very difficult. It's a very hard game to get through. It definitely ramps up the difficulty, but I love it all the same. It's just such a fun game to play, and it takes me back to being in arcades and playing and just putting my quarters on the table to be able to play. This is a wonderful game, an absolutely fantastic title, and I urge you to pick this one up because Battle Axe is truly unique in today's marketplace. One of the best soundtracks on the Nintendo Switch belongs to the game we're going to look at right now, and that is Coffee Crisis. Alright, who'd have thought that combining the wonders of an alien invasion and coffee would make for a great game? But here we are. Coffee Crisis is wonderful. This is just a loving homage to 1990s classic arcade beat-em-ups, and it works so well. So the Smurglian race has descended upon Earth, and they are not leaving until they take all of our coffee, and as a coffee lover, nah, I'm not good at that. I don't want them taking my coffee. I don't want them doing anything that they're after, because not only are they after the coffee, they're going after our metal and our Wi-Fi, and I don't mean metal, the alloy, I mean the music. We need to keep our killer music here. This game is ridiculous. Like, it is an over-the-top, just perfect interpretation of what a beat-em-up should be in today's modern age. The graphics are wonderful, the gameplay is great, but where the game really excels is just the unbelievable, fantastic metal soundtrack. I'm not a huge metal fan, but the music in this game is wonderful, and it definitely makes the game better. Check this one out. Coffee Crisis is a wonderful title. It's ridiculously hard, so be prepared to be using a lot of continues, and it is a ton of fun to play co-op. Definitely check this one out. And saving the best for last here, my personal favorite beat-em-up on the Nintendo Switch, Streets of Rage 4.
There's not a lot of perfect video games out there, but I maintain that Streets of Rage 4 is about as close as you're going to get, especially in the beat-em-up genre. When you stop to consider the fact that we haven't had a new Streets of Rage game in almost 3 decades, it's kind of miraculous that we even got this released. This game is amazing. Let's start right at the top with the fantastic visuals. This was done by the team that did Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, the remake of that, so there was no question that the hand-drawn visuals were going to be spectacular, but to get them to be this good, and to have the animations be this fluid with unbelievable effects throughout every level, where all the characters have their own personality, where all the levels have their own unique identity, it's kind of incredible. The gameplay is familiar, so it's going to be great for people that have played the game for a long time, but it's also easily accessible, so people who are playing the game for the first time aren't going to have a problem picking it up, and it's just wonderful. This is one of my favorite games on the Switch, flat out. The gameplay is amazing. There's all kinds of characters that you're able to unlock with awesome pixelated versions of their appearance that you're able to bring into game, which is really cool, with an amazing soundtrack and just spectacular gameplay. The game is so much deeper than I think people expected it to be, and I'm so happy that this released when it did, because I think it brought a lot to the genre. Streets of Rage 4 is one of my favorite games, like I said, on the Switch, and it is the perfect version of a beat-em-up for the console.
Alright my friends, there you have it, 10 fantastic beat-em-ups, all kinds of different approaches to the genre that you can play today on the Nintendo Switch. I think the Switch is just kind of the perfect console for it. Being able to just hop into the eShop and take your games with you portably to be able to play these awesome beat-em-up games wherever you go is such a nice feeling. But I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite beat-em-ups are on the Nintendo Switch. I know there are some I overlooked. Treachery and Beatdown City almost made the cut, but it was a little too esoteric for me. I didn't quite get into it. I want to play it a little bit more. It'll probably end up showing up in an eShop video down the road, but this one just didn't quite click for me quite yet. I like the idea, but I need more time with it. Hey, congratulations to Crystal Moore, the winner of our 1,300 subscriber giveaway. Crystal, the Halo Infinite prize pack is on its way to you. I am so happy that you won. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you being here, and congratulations to you for winning. Stay tuned. We will be having another giveaway coming up at 1,400 subscribers. This one will be a game for the Switch, not a huge prize pack, just one particular physical game, but yeah, that's where we're going with this. Please hit like, please subscribe if you are new around here and you enjoyed today's video, and hey, if you really dig the work I do and you're financially able to, consider becoming a monthly Patreon sponsor like the wonderful people you are seeing on screen right now. And if you really want to support the channel, consider picking up some of our merch at squarepegsyt.com. Everything you purchase from the store goes directly into the show funds and helps keep moving things forward with new equipment, new games, the whole nine. Eagle Eye viewers will notice that I was showing off all of the games today on a Nintendo Switch OLED. Thank you to my wife for picking that up for me for Christmas. I really appreciate it. And I'll have a video coming up in the next couple weeks about things you should look out for on the OLED. It's a really good system. There's just some minor quibbles I have with it, but stuff that I think everyone should know so you can make an educated decision about whether or not to purchase one. Until next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me today as we look at 10 fantastic beat-em-up games on the Nintendo Switch. Remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.